Pikmin 1 plus 2 and 3 Deluxe.
Oh, awesome. And how many of them have you played?
And beaten?
Pikmin 1.
And why didn't you do the rest?
I'll get to them one day.
Nintendo pumped out multiple sublime new experiences for the Switch, but they've also done a solid job bringing over many of their own classic titles.
And by solid, I mean ho-hum.
The Nintendo Switch is full of remasters and remakes of Nintendo's own games, which I'm not against. Having all of Nintendo's games on one system is a dream come true. Just having access to their history is great, and having it all portable, it's even better. I can and play Metroid Prime now. So let's take a look at Nintendo's published remakes and remasters on Switch, and to spice things up, I'm gonna add in the Worthometer. You see, many of these ports retailed for $60, the standard price of any Switch game, and what they add can be questionable if they meet the quota. So let's use the Worthometer to see how worth their prices these games are. And of course, we have to start off with Mario, and with the doozy at that. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. I don't even like this game to begin with. New Super Mario Bros. U is already a lazy game. It's so generic, adding so little to the mix, and just looking so damn bland. So let's make that the Switch's only modern 2D Mario game for 4 years. The main addition to this game is a new playable character, Toadette, who can turn into Peach with a power-up, and the internet hasn't been the same since. This release does include New Super Luigi U as well, but it's just those games with a new playable character. $60. You know, for a while there, I'd probably say this was more in the middle of the Worthometer, but then they released Wonder for the same price. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This was released in 2020 to celebrate Mario's 35th anniversary. This is a very controversial release. It includes Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy with just a few enhancements each, no extras outside of the game's soundtracks, and was a limited release only being available until March 31st, 2021. Yeah, all that was pretty stupid, but come on. With this, you get 3 3D Mario games, and these are great games with a ton to do in them. Acting like this isn't worth $60 is pretty wacky to me. I have plans to go more in depth on this game as a whole in the future, but for now, I'd say it's towards the top of the Worthometer.
So I see. Pretty much no game is going to end up on the top of the Worthometer.
Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, a remaster of the Wii U original, and man, what a remaster. All the characters move faster, parts that required gamepad use have been modified to no longer do so. Captain Toad levels now have multiplayer, and there's all these other little enhancements piled on top of the fact that this is a great game. It's not one of the best 3D Marios, but it's a really fun one, so to have it with a bunch of improvements and Bowser's Fury... As for more Mario spin-offs, none have done better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is the Switch's best-selling game, which makes sense. It's Mario Kart. This one's biggest addition was a new battle mode that is leagues better than the originals. Besides that, there were a bunch of smaller changes, but no new tracks until 2022 when they introduced the Booster Course Pass, which over the span of 2 years added 48 more tracks alongside a handful of characters. Earlier on, the tracks were pretty hit or miss, but as the ways went on, the tracks got better, and now that it's out, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has 96 courses. Granted, with the DLC, it'll still cost $85, but still, it's Mario Kart. Of course, it's f***ing worth it. Mario Party Superstars is the console's only other Mario Party game. It has 5 remastered boards from the Nintendo 64 games and remastered minigames from across the series. So I consider this a remaster, and the best Mario Party game in quite a while. As for its place on the Worthometer, it could have used a few more game boards, but I'd still say it's up there. And Super Mario RPG, a remaster of Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars from the Super Nintendo. I still have yet to pick this one up, but it looks gorgeous. I really like its art style and modern visuals. It's definitely up there on the Worthometer.
And knowing Mario, we're probably only halfway done with his games.
Do you like monkeys?
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Now this was a controversial one. $60 for a game that launched in 2014 that was $50, later cut down to $20. All that was added was an easy mode. Yeah, it's easy to rag on this one, but people agree that Tropical Freeze is one of the greatest 2D platformers of all time, so I'd say it's closer to the middle of the Worthometer. And Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, also changed to account for no Ryu gamepad. $40 for it, I'll give it a pass.
And that's it for Mario.
What's next?
Fire Emblem.
On to Zelda.
You lied to me.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, a full modern remake of the Game Boy original. This is a remake of the original version of my favorite game of all time, and while I still prefer DX, I'm so glad this version exists. Seeing everything recreated in a modern, gorgeous style brings a huge smile to my face, and just knowing that this legendary game is now more easily accessible in the modern day, it's great. $60 is a bit much for some, and I get it, it's a remake of a 2D Zelda game, but I think it's such a good remake that it's worth it. Now Skyward Sword, on the other hand,
Still worth it.
I'll defend Skyward Sword HD for a couple sentences. A remaster of the Wii original, this one adds optional button controls and various other quality of life features that make it a better experience. The game looks great in HD, and it's a damn fun one. But it's a Wii game from 2011 that launched at $50 and was available digitally on Wii U for $20. Yeah, this is pretty low on the worthometer. It's a great game, but for that price, it's really only a good deal for Zelda fans, which, as much as I wish it was otherwise, isn't everyone. Those were the mainline Zelda remasters. However, Hyrule Warriors also received a definitive edition, and definitive is right. It pretty much took all the content for the Wii U original and 3DS port and combined it to make the definitive Hyrule Warrior experience. Worth it? Sure. Metroid Prime Remastered. This was announced and released on the same day for $40. For a GameCube game.
You think that's a good deal?
No.
I love Metroid Prime, and this is an excellent remaster, but for $40, my god. It's still a great game, but Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I have played the demo,
Factual reliable, huh?
and it's pretty damn good. It also includes a new epilogue, good stuff, but for $60, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were remakes of Pokemon Yellow, and these don't look that great. They have forced motion control, which is lame, and a visual style that I am not a fan of. Speaking of visual style I'm not a fan of, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, remakes of the DS games. These just look lame and low budget, which is shocking for the biggest media franchise on the planet. As for spin-offs, there's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX,
What do you think of that?
What do you think I think?
and Pokken Tournament. Guess where the worthometer for all of these are? Talking about Pokemon as a non-Pokemon fan sucks. Pikmin time. First game, Pikmin 3 Deluxe in 2020. Haven't played it, but there's supposedly a new prologue and epilogue. Yeah, sure, it's probably kind of worth it. And Pikmin 1+2, much like Metroid Prime Remastered, announced and released on the same day. They could be bought separately for $30 each or for $50 together. And I like this. I've only played Pikmin 1, but it's quite good, and this is a good version of it. Worthometer, do your thing. Now on to a series that I don't have much to say about. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Good to see that here.
Bayonetta 2 with Bayonetta 1 included as a download.
Just call it Bayonetta 1+2 at that point.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
That finally released?
Dragon Quest XI's.
Not Nintendo, but okay.
Live Alive.
Not Nintendo, but okay.
Miitopia.
Why not?
And Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE.
Wouldn't be the Switch without it. And those were the Nintendo published remakes and remasters, and overall, a pretty good bunch. It's good to see how much old content Nintendo has brought over to Switch in the definitive form, and the worth of each of these games kind of depends on the consumer, how much they care about the franchise, and just all of that. So while Skyward Sword HD may not be worth $60 to someone, hell, I'd pay $120 for it, bitch. It's still missing a bunch of games, Galaxy 2, the 2 Zelda GameCube games, the other 2 Prime games, Yoshi's Island DS, but we're still getting a couple more next year. We got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, we got Mario vs. Donkey Kong, we got Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, but all of those games, and yet Nintendo still won't bring Game Party to Switch? Why?